Hello and welcome to the Allplan versus OpenBuildings event today. This is an event from Bim One-on-One series. The season starts right here. And you know, I have here the experts of Allplan and OpenBuildings. This event is sponsorship by Bim Week and Bim Campus. And I have here Sergi Ferrater, one of the most important experts of Allplan all over the world, has a lot of experience, not only in the Nemetschek group. Sergi has 30 plus years of experience in the BIM environments from the first time. Another is architect and is doing consultancy in Spain for Spanish market and Latin America, Caribbean market. Hello, Sergi.
Hello, Gustavo, thank you.
And Silvio Kimura, one of the most experienced guys in Bentley, is now leading the several software, but specialized as an architect in OpenBuildings, but has a lot of experience working with Bentley software in infrastructures and industrial. And I guess my colleagues are BIM managers, you know, and then I am so comfortable to say that this kind of experience comes with technology advanced mission in his company in Brazil. Is Parsec, a BDC company, BDIC, okay, virtual design and construction. And Silvio is one of the most advanced guys of OpenBuildings all over the world. Hello, Silvio.
Hello, Gustavo. Thanks for inviting me.
And after this introduction, we start the open fire, okay, from us. The first question is, we are doing questions of 4 blocks, and the first block is BIM performance, automation, and maintenance. This block is for study the environment itself. We are not talking about so much about the issues of collaboration. No, we are centering in the application. And you know, in this presentation is Allplan versus OpenBuildings. Then Sergi will start with this question: is do you think that the architecture of the system of Allplan is a problem or is an advantage?
Well, at the beginning of using the software, it seems difficult to understand if you don't have worked before in a multi-file environment, let's say. But it has been with this architecture for years, and it will not change. So it is the core of our plan. But once the system is understood, the productivity is very high.
Silvio?
Yes, just like Allplan, OpenBuildings has the same multi-file system. So sometimes it's very hard for users who are not used to work in a multi-file environment, and also with the freedom and several layers of information that has in the system.
You are both comfortable with the system, and we have the opportunity to have multi-file system, the both multi-file building environments. There is other on infra and other, and you are comfortable then? You see advantages and not disadvantage of something that the architecture you see an advance in the future? This question is advanced, okay?
Yeah, in my point of view, it's clearly an advantage to use this predefined multi-file environment in the core of the software, because it is ready to produce small or large projects, okay, in a company with different users. So you have everything built, just opening the program. So it's quite easy to use when you understand the philosophy and the organization of the different files, etc. So for me, it's a clear advantage.
Yes, also for OpenBuildings, I understand that using several layers in several files for organizing the information as the market is requiring not only the building information, but other related data from infrastructure, for example, where the building is located and terrain, this is an advantage to have several files split among an organization. So even though it requires a good planning before starting work, it's a good idea to organize the information to be able to add information above the building information.
Okay, I got the point. I got the point that I have the opportunity to compare multi-file, but it's not only multi-file, because the philosophy of Nemetschek is a little different, come from different approach than the Bentley. And then Bentley is aware of the integration, and then multi-file inside the environment of Bentley works good. And even Nemetschek has 13 parts, like we see in, you see the presentation of Sergi about Allplan, or the presentation of Silvio about OpenBuildings. You see this integration. Interesting that is more infra Bentley than Nemetschek. I see. It's my opinion. That's some opinions from the host. Okay. The architecture of the system has the multi-file has some issue, maybe or not. I'm not sure, and we must be aware about that. Is multi-file open multiple files in a computer is not the right way to the performance, but you see this decrease in performance because multiple files open. That is a problem for the system. I want to know how it works. If sees that is working, the problem does not exist. Has you some forecast about the performance? Is doing well? The multi-file is working?
Yeah, in my case, in Allplan, it's working okay. You know, Allplan has more than 30 years of experience working in a multi-file system. So it was born in a very complex Unix system. So it has a lot of experience in managing hundreds of files in the same computer. Of course, you have to have a hardware with a lot of RAM memory, good graphic card, etc. But when the infrastructure is okay, there is no problem with managing different large files in the same computer.
Yeah, Silvio?
What I see is a problem of the architecture of the solution is a problem, because when a user who doesn't understand about the data structure and how to organize the information, the typical mistake in OpenBuildings is the user creating several layers of information, and the information is repeated in several layers. I talk about layers because OpenBuildings works with levels of information. So there's a level of information for the user, for the group, for the office, or for the company as a whole.
Concept.
And if you repeat information in all of these layers, and it is possible, the work, it becomes very slow, because the program has to read the information in all the layers.
Okay.
And only the last one is valid. So the user level is the most important. So you lose the information if you have done in the company level, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, Silvio? Go ahead.
Also, what I see is that we are becoming more hardware. We need more hardware to work nowadays, because we have larger files, for example, cloud points and context capture files, for example, that we have to have the terrain within the building. So we have to have a lot of process capabilities to work with it.
Okay, two environments that are coming are different in the scopes. Are coming from the PC for the personal computer world, coming from the bottom up, and some that is coming, but it's coming from Unix. In reality, Allplan is adapted, and Bentley is working workstations and from the top down, but it's adapting to the personal computer world. That is a huge effort. I know that Bentley is doing the job, and it's so good for the market, for every one of us to have Bentley as a player, okay? But Allplan is a role that are doing from 30 years ago, going to the personal computer and the advanced of the professionals that has the machine. Okay, let's talk about the architecture is important for the performance, but let's talk about the performance. You need high-end computers, graphics, RAM, etc. is well equipped. Allplan in OpenBuildings needs this kind of machines.
Yeah, the use of dedicated high graphic or high performance graphics cards is essential in Allplan. I think that this is common in all 3D CAD design platforms. And the multifile system architecture is helpful in working in large projects by breaking down the model into multiple files. Anyway, it is clearly important to use a good graphic card, because today Allplan is using mainly, I would say 90 or 95%, the processor of the graphic cards, not the
central unit.
Yes. So for me, it is given the graphic cards, to take graphic cards, they are all very good. So even with a laptop, you can work in large files in Allplan.
Okay, Silvio.
Yes, for building models, I understand that OpenBuildings is working good, because we can work also with federated models, and the ability to split or to clip the volumes inside the model is a good process to work. But usually now with larger models that are included in the projects, we have to have more hardware hung memory. So also a good graphic card and a large amount of hung memory is important.
I translate a little bit, but just you tell us that you need a really a computer that is not a common computer. The i3 processor, but you need i7 processor and graphic card. Graphic card is important and RAM is important. Maybe the processor is not so important, but the graphic card, and in a portable, in a laptop computer, maybe it's not enough to cover. On the other side, there is other applications that are coming from the personal computer world. Especially ArchiCAD comes from Mac. It's on Windows also. But somebody expect that this application, your application Allplan in OpenBuildings, can be used even in a 2021 computer, laptop, low price, can be? Yes or no?
Yeah, I think that the graphic card is what is the most expensive part of, or one of the most expensive.
I'm sorry, but I expect a yes or no, or maybe yes, maybe no.
Okay.
There is grace, okay? But you expect that this is possible? Allplan and OpenBuildings to be used in a laptop 2021, that is not all, that is okay. And the RAM, we suppose, now I guess is 16 gigabytes of RAM is the common picture, is the common setup. You expect that is working?
With this amount of RAM, yes, but it's mandatory.
They use the graphic card. This is the graphic card. Okay, Silvio, the same with OpenBuildings?
Yes, also the same. A good computer with 16 with RAM with 16 is good, and at least a basic graphic card, but the more the better, of course.
Yeah, this is fair. I must say that will be fair when I compare with ArchiCAD and Revit. This is the same question, and I compare because this is not the question of large project, little project are preconcepts. We don't know because you tell us, for example, in ArchiCAD large projects, in Revit large projects, in OpenBuilding large projects, when the core of your companies is large projects, in fact, especially in OpenBuildings because of the join with infrastructure and industrial project. It's quite interesting that you are completely different for environments we compare in the BIM one-on-one. Okay, I go down this road with the next question. Large projects. You manage large projects and your architecture, your system is especially prepared for large projects and manage that best way, the performance is okay, no problem?
I would say yes. No problem.
I'm grateful for of the answer, of the short answer. It's okay. Silvio?
Yes, it's okay, but I would be more. I am comfortable with the actual hardware I have, but of course it's good to have more power. But if I have larger projects, I have to plan ahead and organize the information.
Okay. But now, when you are working in large projects, little projects, the performance 2021 of the current version of Allplan and OpenBuildings, okay, your current versions are really, you are comfortable from the. You don't remember the past, okay? We suffer a lot with performance issues when you are going to the last, the milestone. You must complete the project. We must hand over the project. This is the worst time on the project. But you are not comfortable with the performance and you end the project the right way. It's okay. Performance, specifically performance, is doing a good job.
Yes. No much problems.
No much problems. Quite different from 10 years ago. So
a big difference in the last 5 years.
Yeah, Silvio?
10 years ago, it was faster and more reliable, but it's okay.
10 years ago was faster and reliable also. You are the same?
Now we are good.
Oh, 10 years ago you are in a trouble or not? That's the point. No.
10 years ago
we are all in a trouble.
No, it was better. The program was faster.
And quickly, a little answer, but you can extend if you want. But a little answer is, what changed from 10 years ago? Which are the pathway? I propose 2 options: hardware and computers. 3 options: internet, or your system increase in technology, some increase, some advance in your technology, in your system. The 3 of them, 2 of them.
No, it was a change from the interface when Bentley decided to use Microsoft ribbon interface, and this changed a lot in the program because it now has the time to load the interface, which is different from before, and has a lot of issues. I feel now that it's better, it's working better in the actual version.
An architecture software architecture different in the solution, and then increase, not only the hardware. Sergi?
Also, Allplan has enhanced its interface with something. It's not the Microsoft ribbon interface, but it has also a ribbon. But the functionality is the same as maybe 10 years ago. But the performance is different. because the usage of the last graphic cards has changed a lot the performance. So Allplan depends very much on the graphic card. So
the hardware increase the value of,
yes,
you are centered in create the integration with the latest. Okay, I perceive and in OpenBuildings I perceive software architecture, some solution from software technology, and I perceive that Allplan is bidding on the adaptation, the integration with the latest advances of computation. Okay, different strategies, or maybe in half a half. The main strategy will be one, and maybe other strategies, but overall, 10 years ago is the same system, the same architecture, and changed a lot in the performance, and now it's okay for the public, no? It's okay for every one of us, architects, engineers. Yes?
Yes, it is.
It's confirmation. Sorry, it's really my speech. Sorry, this is not a question. I'm sorry because I'm the host. I am not the speaker right here. I'm sorry. I try to be on my role. Okay. And then automation, which is the system of automation and how it's working. Automation we are talking about not only those two pieces, is some graphical environment, algorithmic environment, something like that, or on the other side, the automation of the routines, of the processes that are can be managed. You know, it's automate 13 things that are wasting of time, not creating value, and then the customization is creating this value, and then automation in the kind of modeling and automation in the kind of task is a waste of time, you know, on task. Okay. Sergey?
In version 2020, Allplan introduced visual scripting to create parametric modeling of complex shapes and automate workflows. Yes, okay, it is only for advanced users. It has a great flexibility in parametric modeling of complex shapes, but it's difficult in the daily use if you don't have experience. So
skills, you need the skills for that.
Yes. In case for increasing efficiency, Allplan has also the assistants or wizards from many years ago, which help a lot to increase the productivity in modeling composed models. I mean, a complex facade or complex slab with different objects in it. So it has this assistance to be efficient.
To be efficient. Two ways. Silvio?
I think the key word here is skills. The skills are important because, for example, OpenBuildings has the ability to include in the workflow the generative components, which are very powerful, but it requires a lot of knowledge, not only in computing programming, but also in math, for example, to understand the relations. So it's the main key point. It adds a lot of speed in our work, but it requires previous planning. So you have to plan before you start your working and understand and create the automations for the typical routine project activities. But for the daily basis activities, OpenBuildings has created the automations in the form of those Visual Basic programming and so on. So now, thinking about 30 years ago, when Bentley started talking to us about the object-oriented programming, we see now that it's working, but we of course, we users always want more automation.
Okay, I conclude the bottom line is skills are fundamental. This is another question. related with the other. Is we need to automate 20% of the task that is 80% of the whole modeling work and tasks and activity we have. But you know, when we are automating the program, we are creating the system are populated with our customization. The modeling is not the same that, for example, people think about from the public, say there is a data format that we share that is IFC. We have interoperability, and then you share the building. Okay, this is the building, but this is the data. This is the deliverable. The exchange is possible, but you need to organize this information that comes to the environment. And some people that are coming understand that the federated model is done, it's okay. How you work with the federated model is impossible. You need to put there the information and put there in a system. And that's the question. All the customization and all the skills that you create to organize the whole team and how you use the system are a lot of hours. Are a lot of hours, or maybe is working good, and all this effort to create the modeling system is not so hard when you are skilled and when you prepare templates and when you have certain routines. Maybe skilled is the question is on your system. The next project learns from the last project and is okay, and people skilled are doing the job the best way, and the system is capable to use all this knowledge, all this know-how.
Yes, in our plan, of course, every project is better than the previous one, because you can use a project to be used as a template for the next project. And not only of the organization of the different files and the tree structure of the files, but also of which is called wizards, this kind of complex solutions that are available for all the users in all the projects. But of course, there is quite little time to perform to get to a comfortable way of creating templates and creating these wizards for specific projects, etc. But once you have achieved this basic template, then it's quite easy to perform a project from a template.
Okay, Silvio.
Yes, the concepts are the same. We can reuse the templates created from one project on another. There are simple ways to move from the automation from one project to another, but this requires this previous planning that I was talking about. You have to think of what the project needs and get the right parts, the right components, templates, and so on. And then pieces of programming, for example. But I'm thinking for the near future, in 2 months, to have an almost full automated creation of a whole building with a single window, to have a fast creation of a model for the companies who have to organize information and prepare the information for quantities takeoff in a week, for example. So I have to have a building in 2 days, fully modeled. So we are creating automations in generative components to do this. So, but we have to have, as I said before, the skills to do that.
And then skills is only achievable, these right skills, doing projects, doing collaborative projects on your environment. And not only these techniques must be proven in the right place, and immersive in projects. And that's which is the percent of, imagine that somebody is learning the content without a project to test, not project driven, not based on projects, and you only learn, the curve is you learn the skills, but the skills are isolated, and you only practice the skills. You only practice certain functionalities. Which is the difference between the performance of a skilled people trained on projects in an organization percent of productivity, and the other is like a joke, because you can't tell me one guy is 50%, but which is the increase you expect in people from people that only have the skills but not experience in a project, not proven in a collaborative environment, and someone that has 2 or 3 projects on his back, on her back?
Yeah, the experience is a key point, and
but
especially
productivity, some number, exaggerate, no, not must be, because 69 with 0.2%, no, that's not the point. Is you somebody that is skilled in project double the productivity?
yes, I would say yes.
Is my question, and if you agree, tell me.
I would say yes, because in this kind of systems, multi-file systems, the experience is a point, because
okay.
the organization is the key point. When you organize a project, the first step you have to do is to organize information, depending on the people and disciplines who must work on it.
Mm-hmm.
And only the experience of having worked in different projects gives you this advantage.
I think we can think in two kinds of professionals. We have the production guys, and we have the managers. The difference between those, if I have a manager who knows how to do a project, of course it's more than a double of productivity from one that does not have the experience of doing a project, or large projects, or several projects. The experience of working before in projects, in real projects, in practical projects, as I say, is important. And for the production professionals, we can say that it's a good point.
I'm sorry, it's important. Sorry, Silvio. It's important from the point of view of productivity. You increase value, even you have little loss, because you know in the security of the project, or the modeling process is done, which is the best advantage for the company. I'm talking about the whole picture of the project team, which is the value for the project team. Only productivity, or confident, you are more confident in the work of somebody, which is your
Okay, when I said production,
we are talking about maintenance. Is this experience about maintenance, the system in place?
Yes, both is important, but it's important to know, of course. If I would hire someone who knows a product, or who knows how to do a project, I say he has to have both, of course, but the most important is the previous experience. I would say 30% he has to know how to do a project, and 70% he must know how the system works.
Okay. The value of skills then is quite relevant in your point of view.
Yes, for the manager, it's very important, because he has to understand how the structure works, and how where things go, as we usually say, where the files are is the most important part.
Yeah, you get the point, Sergi, when you talk about that both systems need to know the system, to know so well, to be not only skilled, but you have some abilities about the system. You have skills, you practice the skills, and then you got the point about the system. That's why, for example, we use in Bim Freelance, we use, because you created the curriculum on Allplan and OpenBuildings, we use for the experts needed to know two systems, maybe Revit, maybe ArchiCAD, maybe OpenBuildings, etc. Okay, but that's the point, the system. In your case, there is applications that is easy to start, but it's not so easy to understand the system. You need to understand the system one time or another, I guess. Okay.
Yes, it is.
That's a point for the maintainers. And then you tell me, bottom line, that somebody that knows the system is so productive in the system and avoids mistakes and don't and waste, etc. This is a conclusion from me. From your views, I am talking about something that is I am positive. I am optimist in this kind of question. From the first block, you are multifile. I had the opportunity here with this comparison to show the public there that multifile are more complex to start, but are more reliable when it's going good and needs skills. And this is a hard starting, but it's a good continuous operating pathway. And then it's interesting to compare with other business models for other environments. It's quite interesting, this conclusion, okay? From this part, you tell the public in yes or no, Allplan OpenBuildings are quite prepared to do the job. Is prepared to do the job and is good, and you can rely on your system right now. Is mature? Yes or no?
You mean in terms of tools? In terms,
if another way to say that is ready for the companies to use and is okay.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. The question is, I see your expression, Sergi, but a lot of people think that Bim is not well developed, and we have Bim systems before CAD systems. Most of the people don't know that. And from the point of view as a host, I asked you this question because this is okay for the last 10 years, I guess. How many years Allplan and OpenBuildings are completely functional and is working, doing the job, and it's okay? Has no real issues to have real issues that avoid the use of the environment. 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 20 years. Remember, the performance was increasing. This came internet in the 90s of the 20th century. Comes the internet and changed everything. How many years?
I would say
It's ready for the industry. It's ready for projects. It's okay.
I remember that in 2016 they launched a version, a real new version, and I would say that from 2016 that was a big step, a big jump for Allplan to be ready to perform and projects ready to perform any kind of project.
4 or 5 years ago?
10 years ago, I would say, yes.
10 years ago, okay.
I would say
but you are the experts, is your opinion. I trust on your opinion, okay?
Yes, it's been a progressive work. So they created several advancements in each version. But I saw a big change in 2004, 2005, around this date, when they created the data structure that we are using today. So that was a big change because we have several issues to work. And from 2004, we had this good data structure.
Okay, then you think that competition helps one each other to advance and has the incentive to advance?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this, but because 10 years ago there was not so many
Or in a
competitors.
competition, is the environment is always ahead because the company is always going ahead, no matter what the question. No, it's innovative, the company. You see the competition as a factor, or the innovation that has itself the company and is doing the job?
10 years ago there were no so many players in the field, but today, yes, today there are many different solutions that you can use for buildings, and now I think, yes, that the companies are looking after what the competitor is doing, also to, yeah, for example, the new interface all the systems have copied from Microsoft. This is a point. So all the developers going this way, and then, yeah, all the applications has their own core functionalities, and that's difficult to change or copy. But today I'm more competitive. I think that the companies are looking at the others more closely.
Silvio?
Yes, there are two points to understand. When Bentley followed the competition, we had the perception that the product got worse. Okay, because we had slower production. But I understand that competition is important because when one company innovates, the innovation is quickly copied on the others, unless it's from the core of the program. But when we talk about simple innovation that make the production of the daily work quicker, I know all the competitors do the same, start to do the same.
And now the trend is competition. Now we are entering in the second block, that is BIM collaboration and co-design. Collaboration and co-design, cooperation is not the same that collaboration. We are only talk about how we all together create a great value for the client, and then we are joining the idea of this client that maybe, for example, retail brand or somebody that are managing certain facilities for events, or hotels, hospitality, healthcare, government, etc. Okay, which is the collaboration architecture of your system? Let's talk about collaboration architecture and the solution that you use for share. We are alone in our modeling system, and which is the solution for collaboration on your system? Sergi?
Well, as I said, we use the multifile system and also a BIM server, which is called Bim Plus, that all users can access the shared project with the Allplan share extension, which is an option.
And Silvio?
And Bentley uses the project-wise, which is a very mature system, which is can be cloud-based or company-based.
And is a BIM server, is a common data environment?
It can be organized as both the common data environment or a BIM server.
One question. Allplan can use project-wise and is potentially, or theoretically, and OpenBuildings can use Bim Plus? It's a single question. No, maybe a question from the public say, oh, why I can't use the BIM server or common data environment of the other? Let's talk about that. As
far as I know, project-wise cannot use original Allplan files, but of course can use any other format exported from Allplan. And Bim Plus can support open Bim files. So OpenBuildings can create IFC files, so it can be shared in Bim Plus.
Yes, this is true from both sides. I understand only that the problem is the dataset files. As I understand, this can be a problem from both sides. It can be a problem, but both systems can manage the files from the other.
Okay. It's easy to set up roles, and first, it's based on roles or not, and it's easy to set up the roles and permissions. Okay. If have permissions, usually you talk about roles, even if the roles are not defined implicitly. But you know, it's based on roles, yes or not, and these roles are easy to set up, and which is the scope, because there is roles that are, which is the scope that manage the collaboration, the roles of the collaboration is complete or part or.
In Allplan, you can create roles when you set up a collaboration project. These roles have different scopes. It depends on if you model, if you are a modeler, so if you are an Allplan user, or you are a project collaborator, an external project collaborator.
Reviewer
So
or observer.
It's easy to create roles for modelers and viewers or participants, but it's different when you have to create different roles for access different parts of the project within the Allplan project. This is different.
Silvia?
Yeah, I understood. Yes, it's based on roles, and it's just as easy as creating the roles in Windows. So you just have to open the user role and check boxes to create the roles. And if you created a good federated model, you can share from the file. You can restrict the access to a file. This is the point. The OpenBuildings is based on files.
Okay. I understand, and to share with you both, because you are multifile, the question of collaboration relies on more than a Bim coordinator checking distributing the work on the multi-files in open and closed files, and then the roles is more dealing with this kind of thing and not defining a role with 13 areas or procedures. Is based more on the Bim coordinator activity. Is my question, is yes or no, which is your?
Yes, the Bim coordinator is
fundamental in the process.
It's fundamental. Yeah, it's basic in Allplan to work in Allplan to set up a project and to set up specific files that different users can access to, and the different roles that external participants can share the information.
Yes, this is the same for Project Choice.
Yeah. It's quite. Yes, it was one of the questions or the consequence of the architecture. Multifile seems to be, when I ask about roles, when you match more, you match a system that is not multifile, seems to be easier. But on the other side, when it's based, for example, in files, if the file contains a lot of information and is not well managed, it's quite difficult to create security, for example. Yes. And it's quite interesting that we see to clear the point is, I see the vision of the one file must create roles, and specifically roles areas, and you check it, you have 10 profiles in Bim architect, Bim interior architect, to close the gap, to close in the short modeling area, because you don't have the access to everything, and it's difficult in other systems, but it's not in the multi-file, because you have the files, you have the system of files, and you can, and then Bim coordinator is so important in multi-file systems. Do you agree with me?
Yes, I do. I mean, I think this is common with for both platforms. I mean, when you have a multi-file system or a federated approach of the project, yes, you have the infrastructure created, but you have to be very you have to follow a protocol or some rules to succeed in your project. Imagine that you have many different users using different files, so you have to organize who must use which files, or because otherwise it would be a mess. So it must have a BIM coordinator who organize everything.
Okay.
True, that's true. I agree. This is very important, the role of a BIM coordinator.
Okay. Talking about ending with the question of collaboration architecture and roles and to distribute the work and the capabilities of the coordination, you integrate something like in the system, maybe in the collaborative system, or even in the own application, the RASTI or RATI profile, that is whose review, who's approved, whose is informed, whose is consulted. This kind of tracking of the activity is you have this possibility maybe on your environment or your BIM server or common data environment. You have this functionality, this capability.
Yes, we have this capability. It is not very, it's quite new in our plan. I would say maybe 3 or 4 years that we use the BCF format to create tasks. You can create tasks to organize the communication between the collaborators and the modelers in Bim Plus. So there is a graphic environment where the consultants or the clients or the participants can view the model and can create a graphic around the part of the model and write some comments, and this comment goes to the modeler. So this is kind of the information.
A little question before go to Silvio to answer this question is this is not built in but built up. It's the coordinator who do the job and then assign tasks and create a task, and these tasks are tracking the process of exchanging approvals and what happens in the project.
Well, this is not really the BIM coordinator is not doing the job. I mean,
okay.
The system is open to all the participants in the project. So any participant can create a comment, can create an issue, and this issue travels to the modeler, and the modeler then can share back the issue to all the team, and this is tracked by the system.
By the system or by the users? I didn't understand that.
By the system. I mean, I can invite you to a project. You can come and I'd like this window.
Yeah.
And the model of the windows gets your message and maybe creates another window and say, okay, do you like this one also? And this is created from the system. So not.
Yeah, but it's managed by the team. The team sends the task and it's okay.
Yes.
Everyone, not only the coordinator. Coordinator is not, this is not a maintenance task. Then it's cheaper and the coordinator is doing another job that is value added. Okay,
yes.
I understand. The whole team is good. It's good. Silvio? So sorry for the interruption. Okay.
I understand that there's also for the workflows and for example, the issue resolution, the approvals, this is a workflow that can be created and managed, but just as happens with the federated model, we have to have a structure for the workflow. We have to create each step that will happen. And for the BCF file, I have seen some adaptations that Bente has done to work with BCF files. I'm not truly satisfied with the solution because it's a not a permanent solution. It's not a capability of OpenBuildings to import the BCF file just as the other solution. It goes through project-wise on a cloud solution that the issue is loaded there, and you can get that issue in your project inside OpenBuildings to do the same as the other solutions do. But it's a turnaround to not get the plugin to import the BCF directly in our models. Okay.
Okay.
But they are doing this because just as we talked before, the competition is doing this, so we have to do this also, and they are doing that.
Yeah. And here we are talking with some of the two of the most important experts in two of the main BIM environments for building systems in the world. And then the brands are now, the makers are, so we makers are seeing you and telling, okay, that's important to increase our capabilities and to increase the competition. That is good because it's growing. The BIM environments are selling better. Revit, ArchiCAD, Allplan, EcoScene, OpenBuildings, OpenRoads, etc. are growing day by day. And it's important this kind of information in front of you. These advancements is increasing the productivity, increasing something. We have a standard, but you can increase the standard of how your BIM environments and your ideas contribute to the next level of the collaboration. And so we are grateful to you to be here. We have you here. Something that is out of the comfort zone of every architect or engineer. Life cycle, operations, and maintenance, but not maintenance the traditional way. It's not only to fix the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system or something like that, or some is broken, some window or some glass. No, this is not the point. The point is how your environments works in the operations phase. We talk about that sometimes how your environment can continue to manage the information and this exchange of information in the design cycles. I'm talking about in 30 years, there is a lot of activities, a lot of actions, a lot of activities of design, pre-design, design, and build and handover of 13 things. For example, in hospitals, a hospital is completely different from the first time 25 years ago, changed completely. Or even a hotel, for example, or even a transatlantic that is a hotel that goes, okay, changed from one side, one place to another. And then how your environment can manage, if we manage roles in the tracking and the review process, is available your environment for the design and construction, BDC operations, not only from the as-built creation, but later on the whole life cycle. Is available for the whole life cycle?
Well, Bim Plus is the cloud platform, and as I told, it allows access to project data for any collaborator.
Yes.
And Bim Plus allows you to view models in OpenBIM format, extract data, and perform tasks. So it allows the consultation and download of models and documents. I wouldn't say it's Bim Plus is the CDE, but I would say it's
some kind of feature, no?
Some kind of CDE for
Okay.
the Allplan environment. Yes.
Okay. Or you are talking about the part of functionality that is common that environment is really. Sorry, Silvio, I have a question, but after you.
No, this is the point. Project-wise, in the beginning, when we are working with local installations, we had a problem we have space issues because when we are creating versions of the same project, for example, you have to double the information if we need to keep the previous model, and we have to plan ahead how to This is the importance of the federated model, of course. If we have smaller files, we can create locally the version. But when we got the cloud option, now the space issues are not important. We can create several versions, and ProjectWise manages those versioning or revisions in this environment.
Okay, but it's available for the operations and maintenance as the center of the model, all the information federated or on a file, the information is there, is organized, the system is working. Something that is an issue or critical for for your environment and the team will change, but operates.
Yes. Yes, it's a matter of creating the role to access the information. It's just it's the importance of the role. The role, I mean, the permissions to access the information within the system. If you create this user role, you can have for example, the operation field accessing the projects from previous versions, for example.
Okay. My point is modeling process continues after the as-built delivery, the handover of the client, of the team that will operate, that change the management. Okay, it's a different question. But during the operations, there is design life cycles. If we talk about a hotel, for example, in Miami, that is so known, and the hotels there has 60 or 70 events all year long, or maybe larger events, maybe little events, and has 40 spaces for little events, but 2 larger space, 3 larger space for events, and even the Miami Convention Center, that is huge. It's one of the largest facilities for events in the United States, Las Vegas and Miami. And this hotel is completely operated day by day and intensively operated. And then we lost the value of the model. From your point of view, I guess our opinion is to continue to use this infrastructure and increase the information, and we have the OpenBIM model to use. And then for operations phase, we need to see the value of this whole modeling environment and information that are there. I guess is the point of view. The question is more Socratic. I addressed you to the resolution that operations matter for the environment, and then the environment continue. The system is not only for virtual design construction, but it's for virtual operations. And then from your point of view, the value of this solution is better than application of facility management, or you thought that an integration between the environments in the operations are integrated with Archibas or Maximus or databases, information based in the future, is how we engage. We are is going out the systems for facility management, or is integrating the information with the environments, is evolving.
In Allplan, we have a specific system, which is called Allplan Alpha, which is for facility management, that leverages the Allplan model, of course, but of course not all the 3D geometric and all the 3D data, which is more important to obtain the spaces information and the different levels of the building, okay, and the materials, etc., but not the 3D model. So in Allplan I would say it would be just for the design projects, but for maintaining and operating the projects, okay, Allplan has a specific application.
Okay. But is connected with Allplan?
It is connected with Allplan, of course.
Thank you. important information for the public. Silvio?
Yes, project-wise and asset-wise are the solutions from Bentley to plan operations and to manage the, as the name says, asset-wise. So they are for different uses, but now Bentley is talking about the digital twin, so they call the iTwin models. The reality is that we are advancing fast in this field because this is where the money is when we talk about the operation and the
business opportunities are, yeah.
So ProjectWise has the access to the models and all the project information. So this is one point as a CDE. And AssetWise manages the information related to the models. It doesn't need to access directly the models, but as if it's integrated with ProjectWise and the powerful database which has the information from the assets, we can manage not only the project information. We are not talking about the
project information management, not asset information management, no?
Yes, the enterprise as a whole. So this is a different. We are going larger.
Okay, quite interesting division. No, we have here two companies that are multinationals that are coming from Unix, but Bentley is focused. It's interesting division of the company because summarize, for example, the Nemetschek group, the only software that integrates facility is Allplan in the Nemetschek group. But Rufus has furniture, fixture, and equipment. Okay, but this is not really a facility management software. Okay, but it's interesting to see the vision, my point of view. Going down this road of the operations and these solutions, I have a question for you, a question, a doubt from the experts, no, from the BIM managers. How we manage the update of the model, which each day changes, that always happens for the digital twin. So-called digital twin is the real building, in this case, and the virtual building that are the same, must be aligned, must be the same. If the real model is not the virtual model, we have a problem. We are requesting information, managing information that is not updated. Okay, and then in the operations, where the surveyor, for example, or the people there that are managing the change of the building, what are deploying, are delivering this information? If there is only a database or something like that, who models the new changes of the building? In your system, the question is, how do you see that in your system? It's a question for both. It's more for operations, it's a challenge. You see possible in your system to model?
Well, Allplan, I consider that in the case of the changes during the operations process, the life of the asset, I would say that Allplan would be useful to create a
model these changes, no?
Yes, to model these changes. And
my question is this capable to do that? Because the life cycle, for example, in Pennsylvania, says that capture existing condition is the whole life cycle. But where? You see your system doing the job, and then you have asset management or facility management software inside your environment. As we see in the presentation, you have a lot of scope, Bentley, a lot of applications there in a complete vision, but also Allplan, Nemetschek Group has a lot of, for example, Rufus for FFE, and you see that it's possible to capture existing condition, and this information is where this information goes. It's possible to integrate in your system and continue with the model? ad eternum?
Well, as I said, Allplan Alpha, which is the facility management application that Nemetschek is doing, Allplan is integrated in it. So any kind of remodelation or you have to be done in Allplan, and then you extract the info back to Allplan Alpha.
It's integrated, is connected, is integrated.
Is connected. No, sorry, it is not integrated, is connected, sorry.
But you need to request the information, and the process is like IFC, it's OpenBin, it's like Alpha works for
no,
Bentley, for example, can work with OpenBin information.
I don't know exactly how it works, but you connect Allplan Alpha to a project, and then this information is traveling to the facility management software. So it's not integrated, but you have to access to the Allplan project, and you get the information from it.
Okay.
Yes, this we can think in two sides here. From the structure of the work, we have the owner/operator who can have he can have the tools to work with the model. So when we have a work structure in the market that the project is done from one company and another company receives this project and has to work with this model. So there are several requests for that. For example, if he has to have a BIM mandate previously established for receiving the models as he needs, but considering if he has the model as needed from a BIM mandate or a BIM execution plan, so he can operate the model just as the building. So let's say a company that is the owner of the building receives the building as a model too. So he has the digital twin, as it's said. So
the current term, no?
If we understand that he can manipulate the model and update the model in every change, so this is an idea, because not every company is able now to do this. We have to talk about larger companies with a great asset, with several assets around the world. So if we say this, he can do the update directly in the model, and if the company has the project-wise and asset-wise to work with, theoretically he can have sensors to check in every minute how the building is operating, just as a factory or a production line has the PLM information to check in every second how the building is operating. So this is a possibility, but we see in the market now that if we have this separation, and if a company does not request a model, a BIM model, for example, that the company can operate, there will be several problems in the future, because if the company doesn't have the information, the data set for OpenBuildings or if we call other software solutions, we have the structure of the information. If it is not delivered for the company, they are not able to update the information and use it as a digital.
Silvio, why somebody, in your opinion also, Sergi, a question, why somebody that see an opportunity in the operations and to increase productivity, to increase efficiency, to increase only with the power of a modeling team doing the job, only to be organized the right way, and the model continues, and this has a value for the operations. Sometimes that build is not the same that operate. But if you see for example, talk about the operators. Some companies that are based on the operation of the facilities, for example, warehouses or industrial or factories or something like that. Who see this operation and don't request this information? Do you think that is a problem of lack of knowledge about the BIM, of opportunities? We are not doing the job of telling these people outside the industry, because these operators are not part of the industry, are investment funds, are developers, are people from industry, but from outside the technical issues. We are not really doing the job to explain that this is possible.
Well, I think that this should be set in the BIM execution plan, which is the use of the BIM model. If one of the uses it has to be operated also, then you have to include the information that the property needs. But Allplan in this case, I think has a quite good workflow between the modeling and the operating phases of the life cycle of the project, because they have this communication between the modeling and Allplan Alpha.
If I may, the question is, we are talking with the public, with the investment funds, with the owners, with the developers, with the ones that has the business, with Elon Musk in Tesla, telling that you are not doing the right job, your factory is okay, but this is not well okay because it's not tested, like factories in Brazil from Mercedes that are quite operated, and there is a value there. And people, I guess these guys are not aware about that. Do you think people are prepared to value the modeling process for operations, or don't know nothing about that? Nobody knows nothing about that.
I think it is
a single question.
I think it's not quite implemented yet. I think that right now people, when thinking of BIM, is thinking of productivity, efficiency, and reliability in the construction. But in operation, I think it's a little bit far today. I think it's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, if we can think about, we have small companies, medium companies, and large companies. From large companies, I understand that we are doing this job, educating the markets that there is this possibility. And I'm starting to see medium companies using this idea. Medium companies, as I say, the owner and the operator, the people who understand the importance of asset management and facilities management. This part, from this point of view, I'm starting to see now that we have medium companies asking specifically for BIM models using BIM mandates and BIM execution plans, which is a good point, because these concepts is what we are talking now. And we have to have these ideas on the smaller companies. It's a matter of time to get there.
And the question is, from the point of view of Allplan and OpenBuildings, you have two large companies of software makers that has a scope. And it's a double question, but I guess it's the same question. Are your system prepared to the operations as modeling environment and the framework? And you see your makers doing, increasing the attention of the connecting the modeling process and the facility management for the operations phase? You see increasing the value of these applications going up?
Not in my case.
The work is done and so good.
No, the work is done by another application. So the thing is that to enhance the communication and the data, which is.
I am talking about the Allplan, and for example, the solution for Allplan is Sergi
Alpha.
Alpha, and then the Alpha is.
But for facility management, not asset management.
This kind of advances will see more advances in the future. In the case of open buildings, the case of open buildings and open roads, etc., with asset-wise, is increasing in the next years. Is a way.
I don't have this information because Allplan Alpha is mainly sold in Germany and Austria and Switzerland. It is not so expanded in other countries, so I really don't have much experience on it. So I don't have how Nemetschek is developing this connection with Allplan right now.
Okay. But it's ready. It
is ready. It is ready. It is performed, yes.
Yes, and I see Bentley is working forward to get this digital model ready, not only for the design part, but also for the operations. This is a large step. This is, of course, for my company, for my work. I know it's a larger step. I have to have the concepts to understand and to do consultancy for those companies to organize how they work within this new environment, which is a project RISE, for example. That is quite different for medium and small companies. And also, I see in the future a more...
But it's ready. Your system is ready right now to continue the modeling process to increase value for operations.
Yes, the system was ready from the beginning because they started selling for
the clients to be comfortable to say now that this is buying Allplan subscriptions, licenses, and open buildings subscription licensing to see it's working. It's okay. Be comfortable with that because two of the main experts in the world says no, it's mature.
Yes, this is mature.
Yeah. Let's, after this whole question, thank you for your interaction with me because it was my exposure most. My point was we are delivering only from the BIM industry as we as providers of education, software solutions, etc. We are providing only virtual design and construction solutions, but BDCO is here. And I don't talk about BO, virtual operations. No, it's virtual design and construction operations. I talk with some specialists, some of them, and we are talking about BDCO today, okay? And BDC is BDCO. Nobody that talks about BDC not talking about operations because it's now the life cycle is the question. And from my point of view, I am so proud to say a lot of years here and to see two experts to say the market, we are prepared years ago. Come here and we have a solution for the life cycle and a modeling solution for the life cycle to experience to give value chain for you. And then it's fantastic to hear from reliable companies like the Nemetschek Group, Allplan, and Bentley. Okay, it's quite good, and there is other solutions there. Let's talk about the last stage of the collaboration, is how we deal with the collaboration with the stakeholders and the clients and the owners. And the BCF, you talk about the BIM collaboration format and how to review. We are talking about co-design. And design is more dealing with review from the owners, the consultant of the owners, somebody that has value and creating some value in the project. How your system did that? How is the review? And how this interaction is provided is delivered to the project. In your case, Sergi, Allplan, and in your case, Open Buildings, Silvia.
Yeah, Allplan uses the Bim Plus platform, which is the cloud platform. So consultants, owners, and participants can consult and download data, documents, and also interact with the model. it doesn't mean that you can modify the model, but you can add information to the model. So from the beginning, so from the earlier part of the project, collaborators can participate in the project through this, through Bim Plus.
Okay.
Yes, this is the same in OpenBuildings. If you use the project-wise 365, which is the cloud solution for example, for a project that doesn't need
Okay.
a larger solution, just as the project choice, the full project choice, as I say. The project choice 365 is a cloud space where you can store your project and have several features to open the file.
And some quick questions. Sorry, OpenBim. Before to talk about the BCF, OpenBim, you are IFC4, IFC2X3, and which is the MDD you have? Architecture, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural. Which is your OpenBim scope now? Allplan?
In Allplan is architectural.
Is IFC?
Yes, IFC 2x3 and IFC4.
Okay, architectural MBD.
Yes.
Model view definition. And you, Silvio?
The view definitions. OpenBuildings has the architecture, the MEP, structure, and also the site as we say for the concept.
Another MBD for the concept is more okay. And going the other way, BCF is an OpenBim format, and you both support the format, and then the information is getting is completely graphic. The people that are reviewing see the 3D model. Okay, see the model with the context. You go there and you see then some situation, and you say, okay, this is not right here. This must be there, or this is a problem, and then send the review directly to the project. No delivery of files. Tell us about which is the solution. It's transparent, no files, go directly to the from where you enter. Is a phone smartphone based? It's an app. It's a tablet app, and it's easier for the client. It's intuitive.
Yes, very much intuitive. Bim Plus, you can use it in tablets, you can use it in mobile phones, you can use it in Internet Explorer, and the participation of the different participants in the project. It's made through different tasks. So
no, not so large. Let's talk about a little quick, because the time is going. And
okay.
Okay. And
yes.
Yeah, it's okay. And Silvio?
And Bentley has several solutions for small, for mobile, so project choice is a large.
But if I may, a quick solution is transparent for the client, for the consultant. We have an image. We create the BCF in terms. Or not?
Yes, this is the point. But as I was saying, that also Bentley has another initiative, but this is a different point of view. It's not from IFC, but it's
a little hard for the client to have the information and need some advance. Yeah.
Yes.
On the other side, this co-design is worse. It's more difficult if you haven't a direct link. For example, we are talking Bim Plus, but we can talk about Bim Sync or another system that can be used. For example, in the case of Bentley, I hope so. The OpenBim models are not only closed Bentley on his own solutions, but has another solutions. But it's quite important information, the reviews from the clients and the consultants and the stakeholders there, and the construction managers in the early design stage, go to the editors team. The editors are those who model inside the rights in certain part of the model to model, no? And then co-design, if there is some paper base, it is impossible. I guess it's completely impossible to do. It's not 3D. You don't reshape the graphic model. It's quite difficult because there is no intuitive information. The people don't see something that is real, virtual real. And then the two applications support BCF, OpenBin format for Exchange. No problem with that.
No problem.
No problem.
Yes, no problem.
And then, which is your what do you think about the experience of your reviewers on your system? Allplan and Bim Plus and OpenBuildings and Project Device. That's the point. Larger here.
It's very simple, transparent. You see 3D models. You can add comments, issues.
It's a good experience.
Very good experience.
Very good experience. Silvio?
I would say it's complicated.
It's a little tricky.
Yes, a little tricky.
From a large company like Bentley, what's happening? There's a lot of software, but forget the clients or something like that. I guess I don't understand.
Yes, I understand there's a change of policies, but I believe they are developing something. But the key point now is for the asset management they are focusing now.
And then for the next season of this event next year, we have your commitment with to ask Bentley. Let's talk about that and let's develop that because it's so important. Co-design gives the value of the client when the client is a hospitality or is a health organization and has a lot of facilities. The people who knows the facilities are the people that works there, that manage the facilities, etc. And if this information don't comes to the project, there is less value for the team. The team doesn't integrate this information on the right time. And then I wish this co-design is solved. In the case of Allplan, is completely solved. In the case of Bentley, needs some advances to be more transparent and better. And I insist Bentley to do that. And you are here, and you are an important guy in Bentley in the past years and in companies now. You are telling Bentley that they need to hold that.
Yes, from the point of view, they're developing this open design alliance with a IDGN model instead of IFC.
Okay, I'm thinking about a different approach.
Yes, this is interesting, but this is a problem for the market, because if I'm working in an environment which has several companies, for example, I have a Revit model and a Allplan model, I can join them in IFC. But if I send an I model to them, they will have a problem. They have to install a plugin to open my I model, so it's not the same version. So there is a lot of problem when you create two different.
Anyway, you need an app. Anyway, you need an app in your iPhone, in your Android, in your tablet. You need an app, no? And that's not a problem, no? But the people can read an I model and then send directly this review to your model or not?
Yes, from this point of view, the I model is perfect. It does the same job as the other company.
Okay, choose I model instead of
IFC.
That has some solution, but it's more proprietary. It's not open. Okay, I see.
It's open, but I see that
it's not OpenBin. It's not OpenBin.
Yes,
okay,
it's not OpenBin. Because as I learned about, Autodesk has joined last year in this Open Design Alliance. So we understand there are different approaches.
And why to go out from Open? This is a question about talking about OpenBin and the companies going in the interoperability, no? Because can be a good solution, but for example, Nemetschek can't improve this solution because it's proprietary. I don't know, maybe a question of the industry of the software or something like that. Okay, let's talk about cybersecurity, security, and privacy. The question is little questions, and then we open the discussion about that. Let's talk about security. Security is the matter of the security of the information that are there in the modeling. The people are in the right place, the right time. Don't destroy the information of the others, and don't make a mess, like you say in the layers. Okay, that can be without the skills. The security of your system, in the case of a lot of people working there, the system is secure from the point of view of the information.
Yes, it is. It is.
You are not destroying nothing. You are not creating a mess.
No, because the permissions and the user management is quite well performed in Allplan.
Okay.
Yes, then when we see in project-wise, of course, you can use the permissions to control. There's also the traceability, so you can check in project-wise who opened a file, who created information, or who deleted the information. This is all registered in the system.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the quick answers. And security is not an issue. And then proceed, and then go to privacy now. And the privacy is the use of the data and where the information is. When the information is on the side of the client, for example, the client has the information, but usually the client has not servers or infrastructure. This provides for another provider. But the privacy is where the data is during the modeling, because it's the modeling process of the project, and where is the data, and this privacy issues in when you use the system, and how you solve that.
In Allplan, the privacy of the files when you are synchronizing files to the cloud is made by the files are scripted. I mean, nobody can use a file which is on the cloud if you don't have the application and the permissions to download the file. So in this
security, but in the case of privacy, the data, who can access the data and can
yes, sorry about the privacy. I really don't know though. I know the Bim Plus is a host maintained by Nemetschek, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know how.
You know, in the contract of the Bim Plus is the question of privacy and where the data is and where the possibilities of Nemetschek to have this kind of information. I trust on Nemetschek, but next season we want to know, next event we want to know this kind of really complicated information because it needs an analysis. But thank you, Sergi, to get a view of about that. In the case of Bentley, which is this privacy issues or not?
Yes, this is an issue because there are two. Let's talk about two levels, because first, Bentley has ISO certification for information security standards. So it's also a member of the Cloud Security Alliance. So security is guaranteed by procedures and certifications.
Okay.
This is different from a long time ago, from the first time they were selling this system in 2001, I believe. People didn't trust in cloud-based solutions to store their information. So things changed a lot in these 20 years. And now they also have the data privacy information within certifications. And we know that their data in the cloud is stored in Microsoft servers. So there is also a different contract for that, for the Microsoft solution.
Okay.
And if you want this solution in-house or locally in your company, you have to have the understanding that the privacy is your issue. So you have to keep the information secure.
Okay, and then Bim Plus has the control of the Nemes check group. Bim Plus has the control of the information. This is only one chance, and the information must be on Germany or elsewhere. But in the case of project-wise, you can implement on your own servers, and then it's your issue. For example, a project in South Africa, but that is developed in Canada. And the question is, the laws of privacy in Canada are quite more restrictive. For example, in Europe, they will largely increase the obligations and the duties of the large technological companies. And then you have the problems of Europe, but you are working in a country that has low privacy levels, not an issue. And I understand that in the case of project-wise can be different, but usually you use the cloud services of Bentley, and in the case of Bim Plus are the service of Bim Plus, and you need to know in which country the servers are. And this is a little issue, but it's an important issue to know. This is not a problem that can be solved, but to think about that, because you are developing a project, everything is smooth and clear, and everything is okay. And then a lawyer says, we have an issue, we go treat you because you are violating the Privacy Act of some state of the United States, because the servers are there. And then, you know, California has a legal system that is so effective and so good for the protection of the rights of the users, and can be some kind of important issue if you're developing a project with the data in California on Europe, for example. That is quite difficult. On the case of cybersecurity, the communications, because we are talking about internet, we are talking about go out from the local network. I am not talking about cybersecurity about the local network. In the case of the files are going here and there because everything is global, and the picture is global. And is the data in the Bim Plus or Allplan when shares the work group, I understand. And in the case of project-wise are encrypted.
In Allplan, they are encrypted,
on the
yes.
internet, are encrypted on the internet also in the case of OpenBuildings and project-wise.
The OpenBuildings can have the encryption from the file from the beginning. So MicroStation can create encrypted files. So you have this encryptation from the beginning, from the smaller particle.
Okay. But the transmission of the information, that is not encrypted?
The transmission, when you use project-wise, yes.
Okay, that's the point. And then the two are secure from the point of view or cybersecurity are okay. Then the protection comes from the points, from the weakest level of the chain, that is the user. If the user has no ability, okay. Let's talk about, let's pass to the last block of this event, that is the question of IPD, but before, how we deliver the information about the performance and the plans that we have in the decision making, that is called eco-efficiency. Is the 4D, the time, the money, and the sustainability, the three all together to determine which is the output of the for the investment. If a solution is more has more cost but is more sustainable and at the large scale and in the life cycle is doing better. From the point of view of the 4D, 5D, and 7D, that is 4D time and time simulation, 4D simulation, 5D that is cost integration, and 7D that is more related with energy efficiency. We are talking about energy, more than waste, water management or something like that. Another, or noise, sustainabilities, the control of the noise, etc., simulations. 4D, 5D, and 7D energy simulation are integrated now in your environment. or which solution you use?
Yeah, there are third-party solutions for 4D, 5D, 7D in Allplan. Some are owned by the Nemetschek group, but not by Allplan's developer. So we have DDS CAT, which is not integrated, but we have AX3000, which is integrated. So
I understand the 4D, which is the solution for 5D.
Yeah, there are different developers that are part of the Nemetschek group, but are not integrated with Allplan. So
today I have a problem because I know that you are an expert, a world connecting expert on Synchro. That is a software bought by Bentley, now integrated as a 4D. And we have a problem, is OpenBuildings against Allplan, but you use Synchro and Allplan works.
Of course, with a little problem, but it works.
Okay, and then third party. Okay, let's go this. Silvio, more integrated or more third party?
There is some integration. 4D, 5D is connected because there is not a solution inside Bentley for costs management, unless we are talking about the project-wise and asset-wise solution from where Bentley is working with, which is called Capital Asset Lifecycle Management, and it's a joint work with Siemens in Team Center. So you can have all of these variables from costs, environment, energy management within a single solution to have to control this information and manage your assets.
And a little short, and then 4D, 5D, 7D names of software. Synchro for 4D.
Synchro for 4D, 5D. You can integrate with solutions for scheduling.
Okay, some solution integrated, or which is your preferred?
I prefer.
But integrated, integrated, yes. Not a solution that are not having, more integrated.
No, this is it's not
not inside the environment, not inside.
It's not inside the environment.
And then 7D, energy efficiency simulation.
No 4D integrated, no 5D integrated, no 7D integrated.
Okay.
Only through OpenBeam.
And then go the other road. What's you test and you use day by day, and you trust more, and you use and you see that is doing a good job. And the 4D data, and the time, the money, and the 7D are coming to you within the environment of Allplan with the same. Okay, no problem with that. In the case of Allplan, we say Synchro. In the case of Coast, have some solution from Nemetschek. And
there are some specific solutions for Nemetschek, but every country has its own rules for cost and databases.
Okay.
And Spain has its own software applications that have interoperability with Allplan, like Presto.
Imagine that. Yeah. Okay. In the case of OpenBuildings connected, the data in the simulation comes from.
So we have Synchro for 4D.
Okay. We have the
7D. In 7D, we have the energy simulator, which is inside OpenBuildings directly.
Yeah.
And for costs, of course, we have a national solution. So each country has
national solutions.
So it's not inside.
My question is, we obtain all these 4D, 5D, 7D in real time, or really we need to engage in a milestone, or that's a question of integration, because if I have the budget inside and connected with the model, I have a click, I have a button, and it's okay. But the workflow is doing right, and we can obtain an update day by day with the system about the 4D, the 5D, and the 7D.
Yeah, you have to you have to export. So every time you have to export,
you obtain the
you
information.
obtain the result, but of course it's not integrated. So
but it's working, no?
It is working. It is working.
Yes, this is the point. We have to have a picture of the model to have the information.
Yeah, but when you change, is not final process to obtain a plan. You are working day by day with the plan. Synchro, for example, I know that is, well, this kind of synchronization with not only Primavera, but the model. That's why it's called Synchro. But in the case of codes are connected and you obtain the new budget the right way when you change the model?
In Allplan, yes.
Yes, this is the point. OpenBuildings do the same.
The same, perfect. In the case of energy simulation, there is maybe another application, but you update the model and then it's easy to update the new data with the new data or elements or the change of information.
In Allplan, BIFC.
BIFC, and it's working. Your experience is that you obtain.
Yes.
Workflow is quick. The interoperabilities are perfectly integrated.
DDS-CAT and Allplan communicates well by IFC.
That's the point. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. In OpenBuildings, we do directly connection because it uses the same file, DGN file, so it's updated immediately. There are some changes, of course, to do, but the file is the same. It's not an export.
Potentials to use another applications with OpenBim. With your system is perfectly prepared to obtain these workflows. We are talking about in the case of Allplan, third parties, but it's working good. But DDS-CAT can be used with Bentley, with OpenBuildings, no? And Synchro is used by both. And the cost is more, in the case of Bentley, are integrated, I understand. And in the case of Allplan, are another application, but is well integrated also. And then no problem to obtain this kind of data, 4D, 5D, or 7D of a solution that we test against another solution. It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Synchro, we have to export via IFC, and the IFC that exports Allplan doesn't read completely different layers. For example, a composite wall must have. So when we build or when we model a complex model or a composite wall in Allplan, we model different layers, but these are just one object in IFC, so it is not well performed in Synchro.
Okay. The geometry is not really what Allplan has, but only
because of the filter to export the IFC.
Okay. Is not... IFC enhancement need.
Yes, it has to be enhanced. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I still see this point of view to Synchro, because we have to, even though we don't do several steps to send the file to Synchro, we still have a frozen picture from the model, because at least from the version I was working with, we have to, in practical speaking, we have to export the model from OpenBuildings and then import. It's not the words, but we have to do as this is the same workflow as exporting an IFC and then importing to Synchro. Probably I expect changes in the future, but I didn't see this yet, that we can use the DGN file directly in Synchro.
As a BIM managers and BIM modelers that work in projects, you know that this kind of exchange of information, interoperabilities, you have integrated it so good, but maybe the tool is not the right tool. Okay, if, in the case of, for example, energy simulator, I guess it's not the best simulation of energy efficiency tool in the world, but gives you the carbon footprint and the energy consumption, okay? And that's okay. In the case of good integrated application, interoperability, a good interoperability, the result is that somebody works in the area and has the change, and then calculate and send and deliver the data. From the point of view of the owner is not a technical one. And then every 4D, 5D, and 7D is transforming into money. And the money of the construction is the 2 index, is the money is this value, and then the life cycle is this value. And we have several different solutions, alternatives for the modeling. We are looking for the best solution. And then usually when you spend a lot of money in construction, then the operations decrease a lot. And the overall is that this money is the money for the life cycle. And then finally, we are giving the owner the opportunity to decide which are the solution he decides. For example, if you are operating the building, you are more comfortable with the cost of the construction that increase the value, decrease the cost, and increase the value of the operations. But where you are building to sell, you are not interested in spend a lot of money because the operations are not your point. That is one of the things when you buy some property, that if somebody is building only for sale, for sell the construction, I don't trust so much. That's my point as a buyer, as not an occupant, but an owner of my home or my apartment. Okay, let's go to the IPD. When we have all this data and the decision making, we go to the IPD, and the point is your environment ready for the IPD for the clients? And the first question is yes or no. Your environment has some chance to co-design with the clients and to between all the stakeholders to exchange information and reviews. It's okay? Yes or no?
It is quite okay.
Quite okay. So confident, Sergi?
Yes.
So good for IPD?
Yes, it's okay. As I was saying, we
It's more
have to
proprietary, but you have the scope to integrate the stakeholders in the IPD. We're not talking about this proprietary or not, but it's better to have an open BIM solution. Okay, but this is not the point. Okay, and then the second point is the whole editor on your system are collaborating. Are collaborating is really has the opportunity to share experience and are not alone, but has this collaboration tool in the environment.
Yes, with Bim Plus, yes.
There is some missing information in the part of collaboration. I don't ask you if there is some chat or some communication channel inside the own environment to choose this information inside the environment and the own collaboration environment. Is possible that?
Yeah, in Allplan I mean the chat or some kind of messages, internal messages, and also the traceability of the files also I miss.
Yeah, the chat is for debating something or for creating something together. And in the case of open buildings, I guess for the
Open Buildings has a messenger system that now is a small part of ProjectWise that works like Outlook, so it can distribute messages for related users.
And these messages are like WhatsApp or are focused on certain elements or certain situation. You can discuss a situation in the model. Is Sergi is focused on in located situation or some location and some issue here in this apartment and this space in this room?
Yes, because you have the 3D model and you can filter the 3D model, so you can choose the location of the issue or any...
But the debate, the chat or the messaging is focused on discuss something located in some place and has some elements, or is an open debate in the project?
No, it's you have a destination person to communicate with.
In a room and a space, for example, you are discussing or something.
Yes, yes.
Discussion is located. This discussion and the other is other discussion, and you can see all the discussions that is happening now.
Yes, if you have permissions, yes.
Think about yeah, Silvia, go ahead.
The point is permissions. This is the point.
Permissions. Okay.
Yes.
The owner. Okay. I understand that it's a question of a coordinator.
Yes.
Of having coordinator.
It's one. Yes, one of the first points we talked about today.
But even for this kind of collaboration or for the access, and the access can be set up from the first time, and then the owner goes all the way without any kind of problem. No, we are talking about editors, modelers, and we are talking about the reviewers. But you establish once and you use many times, or is day by day this kind of permissions?
No, you can change the roles and permissions every time you need. So
okay,
there is flexibility in this.
Also stack. You can also stack the permissions, so you have one permission over the other. So you just create the roles initially and then assign these permissions to the users.
Yeah. We are at the end, and then the conclusion, bottom line, is that people can review, people can create co-design. The IPD is a project entity, and then the whole team can create a project entity. The owner is integrating in the project entity, and you decide a technical solution, a technological solution that may be OpenBuildings and ProjectWise, or maybe Allplan and Bim Plus. And these two solutions are able to develop IPD. That's the bottom line. Okay, and we have the information of your system, the whole project entity, create solutions, and then we have the 4D, 5D, and 7D of this solution, and we establish the cost of the solution, and then present to the owner to say which alternative you choose. And then with these two arguments, that's the end of the being one-on-one that we have here. Silvio Kimura and Sergio Ferrater from Allplan, and two of the best experts in the world of the two environments. And we have the result that the system is mature and the system is available for the IPD projects and is working good with the co-design, and then the whole value can be delivered to the client, the whole value chain. And then thank you both for this presentation. We continue with the series next Tuesday with ArchiCAD versus OpenBuildings. You will be here once more, Silvio, and thank you for being here today, and thank you for all to see this event and get the conclusion. Thank you and see you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.